Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Mitch here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about why I switched to the Canon 1DX Mark II. There are so many reasons why the Canon 1DX Mark II is an incredible camera for both stills and video, but I've narrowed it down to 7 of my favorite reasons why I absolutely love this camera and why I basically switched to using it as my primary body. Before we jump too deep into this video, guys, I do want to make it clear that I have multiple camera bodies, and no, I did not sell my Fuji X-T2. I'm definitely hanging on to this thing because I think it's awesome. Over the last, 4 months, because I did get this camera in December of last year, I found myself reaching for this camera more often than any other camera in my bag. Counting down to number 1, guys, reason number 7 is the still quality and the autofocus when you're shooting stills on this camera. This camera has incredible dynamic range. I find myself being able to underexpose the image and still recover the shadows, to be able to have a lot more flexibility with my exposure, and I'm used to shooting on the Canon 5D Mark III, and let me tell you, this is light years ahead of that camera. The autofocus on this camera is reliable, it's fast, and it's super accurate. My number 6 reason is durability. And this is really difficult to explain, but unless you've held a Canon 1 series body or a 1DX Mark II in your hand before, it's just a super solid feeling camera. It's fully metal, it's fully weather sealed. This thing will take an absolute beating. I've seen these cameras with over 1 million shutter actuations and still going strong. So I really value the fact that I'll probably be able to keep this camera for at least another 5 years, if not 10. My number 5 reason is lens selection. There are so many high quality lenses for Canon mount, and the options are basically endless. There are just so many manufacturers making lenses with a Canon mount, including Sigma, Tamron, Samyang, and a whole bunch of other cine style lenses as well. You've got the whole Cinema Prime set from Canon that come in a Canon mount. The options are basically endless, and I absolutely love that. For me, I'm using all Sigma art lenses. My number 4 reason is something that I've struggled escaping for a very, very long time, and that is the full frame look. There is just something magical about the full frame look, and you'll find very few filmmakers that will disagree with that statement, simply because of the beautiful shallow depth of field that you can get with a full frame sensor, as well as the increased ability in low light, which the 1DX Mark II is definitely not slacking on. Number 3 reason is the dual pixel autofocus. The dual pixel autofocus is an absolute game changer, and I hate that word game changer, but it literally changed my filmmaking game. The ability to just tap on the screen and then have that area of the frame tracked as you're moving the camera, or even when you have a moving subject, to be able to tap on that moving subject for the camera to be able to track focus as they come closer or further away from you, is absolutely incredible. And I'm so stoked that they're finally bringing it, to the more affordable DSLRs, and hopefully one day it'll be available in every single DSLR that they offer. My second favorite reason why I love the 1DX and why I switched over to the 1DX as my main camera is the frame rates that they offer. 4K at 60p and 1080p at 120 frames per second. 4K 60p is absolutely amazing. I admit I don't love the codec that they chose to implement in the 1DX to record the 4K image, but after a quick transcode to something like ProRes in the computer, the image is absolutely astounding, and there are not many camera bodies out there that you can get that will shoot 4K at 60 frames per second. 5 years ago, when I started my filmmaking journey, a camera that shot 120 frames per second at full HD would have just been mind-blowing to me. To be able to slow your footage down 5 times and then watch it back in the camera at that super slow motion, it just adds another dimension to your filmmaking. And my number 1 reason why I love the 1DX Mark II is the color. And I know everyone on YouTube always banging on about the Canon colors, but The fact of the matter is it's true. Canon has an incredible color profile. About 3 years into my filmmaking journey, I switched from the Canon 5D Mark III over to the Panasonic GH4. And the GH4 at the time was an amazing camera, and it didn't have some of the features that the Mark III had, like obviously the full frame image and the low light performance, but for the most part I made it work. But what made me switch back to Canon wasn't any of those things. It was just the color. There was something about the Canon color that always had me coming back. So those are my 7 reasons why I switched over to the 1DX Mark II for photography and video work. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got something out of it. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up on the video, that would help me a lot. If you guys haven't subscribed to this channel already, I highly recommend you do. I have a lot of content planned for this channel in the future and I can't wait to show you guys. But that's it for today, guys. Thanks for joining me once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.